Not a well-known fact. This is Pearl Harbor from the air, circa 1941. But a couple of years earlier, there was a mock. The U.S. actually did a mock attack to show the problems of security at Pearl Harbor, and the Japanese. There was a Japanese man there that gave the idea to the Japanese War College. Now, the man that formulated the attack on Pearl Harbor took it from there, but the actual seeds for Pearl Harbor were planted by an American practice, to be honest with you. And there was also at the time, World War II had already started in Europe, and the Italians had a large, had a naval installation where they had a lot of ships at harbor that got attacked in a similar situation. So the Japanese, the feedback loop of information helped the Japanese to perform. Now they had what was called Battleship Row there at Ford Island, and they had all the planes were clumped together, supposedly for to save the to keep spies from getting to them. But what it did, it made them all vulnerable to a single bomb, because you just lined them up and one bomb could take out 20 planes, because the fuel in them would blow up and ignite. So spread out is the way to do it. And you can see the oil tanks there. There was also oil up on the hill that was supposed to be struck by the third wave. The third wave was called off because there were no carriers at the fleet. And here's the midget submarine that was sunk. All the midget submarines were sunk in Pearl Harbor. It only had 2 submarines. This cable that you see here was to allow the submarine to pass through any net or cable, so it would push it up and over. And there you go, pretty cool. But yeah, the initial seeds for the attack were done in a practice round that the U.S. did on its own. And there, like I said, there was a Japanese man there, a member of the Japanese military, that saw it, and so they knew it was coming. It's always been my contention that FDR let it happen, because if you're going to get beat up, now if you're going to get in a fight and get beat up and get attacked, the best place to do it would be in a hospital. Well, when you're at port, you're within, most of the people that would have been only had to swim about less than 200 yards to get to shore. So they're going to fix to run a little program here, so I'm going to be talking while they're running it. The ships were sunk basically in situ, so they refloated all but 3 of the ships. Obviously the Arizona, and then one had the bottom blown out of it, but they refloated all but 3. Now, if there was, say there was an hour warning of it, they could have gotten out to sea, but they would have been chopped up, and the loss of life would have been catastrophic. Not just 2,000 to 3,000, but it would have been 15,000 to 20,000. Basically, that they still would have been unprepared. Now, they would have taken out a few Japanese ships, but they also would have been in thousands of feet of water and wouldn't have been able to refloat it and or save the people, the sailors, that because there would be no rescue on something that confusing. So the fact that it happened now, I don't think, FDR wanted us to get in the war in Europe, and so this was his false flag. Although it wasn't a false flag, but they kind of encouraged it to happen. Now, I'm sure they didn't think it through, that them getting blown up in harbor would lead to them being able to refloat most of the ships. But That was the province of God to let that happen. And the fact that they had the carriers out there, that was the winning the next assertive technology of the time. So there you go. Thanks, I'm out.